That's David Knuth of Knuth Brewing Company in Ripon, Wisconsin. The city of Ripon hadn't had a brewery in almost 80 years when Knuth launched his brewery in 2015. We're going to meet the brewer who's making Ripon's beer.
This will be changed too, because usually we got beer, but
yeah,
a little too early for beer. Okay, David, so about 6 years ago, you started home brewing.
Yes.
And that turned into all of this.
So my very kind father-in-law bought me a home brewing kit for my bachelor party. And,
for your bachelor party?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
Best gift ever. Just fell in love with brewing beer. First beer I brewed was a brown ale malt extract kit. And
that was the first beer I ever brewed.
Really?
Yeah, Brewer's Best kit.
Yeah, Brewer's Best. That was
all
me.
right.
Yep. So just got going on that, and then been in the restaurant business for a long time. And probably 4 years ago, decided it was time to do my own thing, and really started searching for a place. And we found the building here in Ripon, and I guess here we are.
Yeah, so we're on Watson Street in downtown Ripon.
Yep.
And you came into here, this was like the spring of 2015, right?
Yes. Yeah, we bought the building in March and then opened up in April.
Okay, and initially your plan was to start a brewery right away,
Correct.
but initially you didn't have the brewery up and running.
Yeah, because as you probably know, like getting the permits and everything is just ridiculous.
Yeah.
So we started the restaurant first and then opened up our brewery. We started brewing in July.
Why don't you talk about the restaurant a little bit too, because that's pretty special.
Yeah,
right?
so when I bought the building, it was a little bakery coffee shop, just mornings, lunches, that kind of thing. So we changed from mornings and lunches and evenings, and then built the wood-fired oven. We do wood-fired pizzas. We bake all our own bread, a lot of fresh produce from around the local area here. And then we do paninis, salads, all that kind of stuff.
That's very cool. I mean, it's a great place to eat. But in July, I think 2015, you guys actually started brewing.
Yeah, so we started brewing on the Sabco Brew Magic, half barrel at a time, and quickly found out that there was no way we could keep up. So if we had more than one beer on tap at one time, we were doing pretty good. But started out good, and we had a good response. And then probably in November of 2015, I really started thinking about putting in a bigger system, something that is more of an actual professional brewery. And we got that finally going in August of 2016.
So when you had that period there when you were brewing on the half barrel system, were people pretty patient with you? I mean,
yeah, I think having the food obviously helps,
right,
and the restaurant, and then my philosophy has always been, if you have a good product and you treat people right, they're usually pretty good. So
yeah.
Everybody knew that they only have one or two beers, but we always had a good lineup of guest brews, and we always pretty much stuck to all Wisconsin breweries.
Yeah, you've always had a good tap list here.
Yeah, so we like to really support our state and our other breweries, so that was fun. And then now it's finally been cool because, as you can see, we have 7 of our own beers on tap, which before that was never possible.
I mean, that's got to be satisfying for you.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
But I mean, for about a year, you were brewing on that half barrel system.
Yeah.
And how much beer did you output during that time?
We brew 2 to 3 days a week, double batches. So I think we got up to pretty close to 100 barrels per year.
That is a lot of work. Man.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
But so then this fall, what was September 2016, I should say.
Yep.
That's when your first beer started coming out of this system.
Yeah.
So why don't you talk about that system a little bit?
Yeah. So we ordered our system from Systech Stainless down in Canton, Ohio. Really cool family-owned business. Almost all American-made parts, American-made stainless steel. They get the stainless steel in Akron, drive it down by truck in Canton. All their own welders, fabricators, that kind of thing. All custom built. And then we ordered our system. Took a little bit longer than we were hoping, but it worked out. And then it was funny. We had a dinner. The Boys and Girls Club approached me in the summer of 2016, asked if we wanted to do a beer pairing dinner at the Royal Ridges.
Nice.
For I think it ended up being 200 people. And I, of course, said yes, thinking that we would have our, because we were supposed to start brewing in May,
Yeah.
And we didn't get our first brew going until August, and the dinner was in October. So I was a little stressed out, but
Under the gun.
yeah, the first 3 batches we made, we needed 3 beers, and the first 3 batches we made all turned out great, and we had just enough time to get it going.
So what was that transition like, going from the half barrel system up to 7-barrel batches?
It was definitely a learning curve, and I would say the brewing process, is basically the same, but what I wasn't expecting was learning all about the other equipment, like the glycol system and the cooling system and all the plumbing and the piping and the technical stuff that you don't really think about as a home brewer moving to a bigger system.
So have you had to tailor the recipes around this, or does it pretty much scale up?
We pretty much scaled the recipes, and I think the flavor component of our beers has pretty much stayed the same, but I think our beers have gotten a lot better because now we can control our fermentation temperature, where before we were fermenting in the basement, subject to the time of year. And
you're at the mercy of the ambient temperature.
Exactly. Yeah. So now we can really dial that in. We can age them appropriately. We can carbonate them appropriately, and it's just a better quality beer. But surprisingly, the flavor has basically stayed the same.
That's good. I mean, that's a difficult transition to make from. Okay.
So just talk about a few of our beers. This is our in-house coffee roaster that we roast our own beans, not only to serve espresso and stuff in our brewery, but we also make our own espresso and dark roast for our coffee stout. So we'll do a cold press coffee, and then we'll add it right to the fermenter right before we keg it. And then a couple other beers we do, our Blue Eyed Blonde Farmhouse Ale. That's how I started out home brewing. Named that one after my wife, Blue Eyed Blonde. She's got blue eyes, blonde hair, and did that when I was home brewing. And then the other one that translated from home brewing was our Red House Ale, which when I was home brewing, we were brewing in a red house at the time, so real creative.
Why don't you talk about the hops a little bit?
Yeah, so we get a majority of our hops from Tenacious Badger over in Wisconsin Rapids, and then we get almost all of our barley over in Chilton, Wisconsin from Bree. So we really try to get a lot of Wisconsin locally grown ingredients, not only for our beer, but also for our food and our brewery too. We do a lot of local Wisconsin products for that as well.
So now that you've got this system and you're able to produce this amount of beer, you're starting to move your beer out into some other places.
We are.
It's
so
just not here.
We're.
I mean, you went from having not enough beer here to beer you could get around town.
So we're in Oshkosh. We're on tap at Peabody's Ale House and Bar 430.
Right.
A few places here in town, and then the Watoma and Green Lake area, and then we're actually on tap up in like the Wapaka, Stevens Point, Wausau area.
And you had beer in Neenah too, didn't you?
Yeah, Green's Poorhouse.
Yeah, cool.
So I think we're on tap probably 20, 25 different places right now.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
So how are you doing this? Are you self-distributing?
Yes. Yep.
So that's, I mean, the time you saved with brewing, now you're on the road.
Now I'm on the road. I'm a salesman. But I love it. It's fun going into talking to different people about our beer.
Yeah.
And it's fun once we get something on tap. It's exciting.
Well, you got a good story too. And like when your beer started coming to Oshkosh, that's Ripon has a pretty good history of brewing.
Yep.
And that's the first beers that have come into Oshkosh from Ripon since 1930.
Yeah, I remember you on your blog you posting that, and that was pretty cool.
Well, I mean, and you've brought brewing back to Ripon. Are people in town here aware of this and appreciative of it?
It's been awesome. The support that we've had locally with the people of Ripon has just been tremendous. I mean, we'll get people that come in here 2-3 times a week, twice a day sometimes. I mean, just a really cool group of people, and it's nice having the college because we'll get college professors, blue collar workers, the executives working over at Alliance Laundry, and then families too. So we have a nice, it's just a nice neighborhood gathering.
Yeah. So I mean, in a year and a half, this is a tremendous amount of growth.
Yes.
How are you keeping up with this? And
we're doing good.
And you're gonna have a baby.
Yep. Baby in 8 days. My wife is hoping it goes today, but it's been a wild ride, but we've been really blessed, and it's.
Well, and it's not like you're really settling back on your heels, because I came in today and you're brewing a Pilsner.
We are,
which is, to my way of thinking, is probably the most difficult beer to make well. I mean,
so I'm going to call this the Alexander Pilsner. And my great-grandfather, he was born in 1900, died in 1992, worked on the railroad all his life, and just one of those guys, like I knew him a little bit as a kid, but he's one of those guys, the stories become more real than he is, you know,
right.
kind of like larger than life personality, but he loved beer, you know, and he loved, you know, the old hams, you know, like he's the kind of guy, he'd go into your local bar and, you know, he'd never have to buy his own drink because people would buy, you know, his beers for him. So I wanted to brew this beer in honor of him because I think it's something that he would really like. And it's going to hopefully be a good, solid German-style Pilsner where, you know, not a light American lager, but a good German
classic
Pilsner.
lager,
Yeah.
real flavor.
Exactly, yep.
Oh, that's great. That's great.
Yep.
So where does this all head from here? I mean, would you like to stay at this size? I mean, or do you think?
You know, people ask me that all the time, and what I tell them is I'm happy to go wherever the Lord takes me. You know, I'm along for the ride. So I think we always want to continue to grow, especially now we have a really good team behind us here. And one of the things that drives me is growing now so that we can create better jobs for, you know, the key people that are working for us, so that, you know, they can support their families.
Well, I mean, this is a great addition to Ripon, and job-wise, definitely. But also, I mean, this brings people in.
It does. We get a ton of people from Oshkosh, Fond du Lac, you know, Madison, Milwaukee, and then in the summertime, people staying in Green Lake. I mean, it's amazing how many people travel just to check out breweries.
Yeah, and I mean, like, you know, I'm a beer geek, so maybe I'm not normal, but you know, I hadn't been in Ripon for quite a lot until you opened, and this is a great little city. I mean, the architecture here is amazing.
The downtown is really cool. We've got great shopping, a lot of great restaurants, and I mean, it's cool. We've got the movie theater here. You know, if you want a small town America with still stuff to do, I mean, this is a good place to live.
I'm glad you're here, man. This is cool, and I'm glad your beer's coming to Oshkosh too, so I don't have to always drive to Ripon to get it. All right, David. Congratulations.
Cheers.
Man. Great.
Thanks.
Prost.